Hi, welcome to Baby Narc. um, One thing I've noticed about Brian is that he talks shit about everybody. I mean, I know we all do that. I mean, I've made an entire YouTube channel about this dude. Hopefully, you won't see it. But he talks bad about everybody. You know, we had only been talking on the phone when we first started this thing 4 years ago. We'd only been talking, I don't know, maybe a week, maybe two. And the first thing that he said was he was talking about his dad. And he was saying that his dad has never told him that he loves him. Now, his dad is from a different time. He's I wouldn't say he's a super macho guy because he's not. He's almost kind of weak. I don't know. It's weird. Talk about him one day, but uh, the fact that he allows Brian to live there in that house for going on decades now, that's a pretty good sign of love, especially from a man who comes from a time period where you don't verbally tell your kids, especially a male child, how much you love them. Although I'm not saying that that's right. If you have kids, you need to tell them verbally and through actions that you love them. Because if everyone did that, then we wouldn't have a bunch of fucking narcs running around in this world and then having to deal with their asses later. So yeah, if you have kids, make sure they know that you love them in a normal way so that they don't grow up to be freaking maniacs. So that was the very first thing that he said to me. Now, the way he said it, it was one of his emotional moments. I think he didn't cry, but he, got a little choked up telling me that. And at the time, so I'm a person that people tell their deepest, darkest secrets to. I mean, when I was a bartender, man, I mean, people are, I don't know, I'm that kind of person where they like tell me where they hid the bodies. I mean, jeez. I thought it was, well, everybody tells me their business. And also, I'm very loyal, so you could tell me anything, including where you hid the bodies, and I just don't tell. I respect, I respect the very sensitive and fragile nature of someone telling me something deep and secretive, even dark about themselves. And I respect that. And I will take that to my grave, because that's the whole point of, confiding in someone. So I take that very seriously. And then the other thing that I thought was also that we were having a moment. And now this is before he love bombed me, but already I was starting to kind of have feelings for him. So I'm kind of thinking, well, this is kind of a special deal that he's confiding in me about his parents. And he told me some stuff about his mom. And of course, I know his parents too. So this isn't just some random dude that I don't even know talking about this. So I listened to him and I didn't think much of it other than I actually kind of thought it was a good thing that he was telling me this. That was that. And then pretty immediately he started talking about Shelley. And that did bug me because, I really don't want to hear that. And then also it got to the point where, he told me all kinds of things that it felt uncomfortable, and we didn't know each other that well, and he would break down crying. And then I thought, even back then, uh-oh, I've got a dude on my hands here who can't get over some other chick, and it was already problematic, and I knew that. Then as time went on, he I think then the next thing he would talk about is his work, his bosses and coworkers. And, he always had a problem with them. There was always something going on. But then once again, I also didn't think that was weird because, I thought it was weird that he had problems with everybody, but I didn't think that it was weird that he was talking shit about them because he was having problems with them, which I did think was a big red flag. Basically, this dude can't get along with anybody. But he was talking shit about them because he was in the middle of having some sort of an issue. And then, of course, a couple months down the road, one day he's got an issue with the boss, the next couple days he's got an issue with a coworker. Then he moves around from store to store, and then he's got issues with somebody over at a new store. I mean, it's like, dude, seriously? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Then he starts talking about some random people in his life, people that, I've never met. And once again, I didn't think it was too strange because I kind of thought it was a deal where, he was just talking to me about people in his life. Now, he's never been very good he never asked me anything about me. Anything that he knows about me, I have offered the information. But back then, I just thought that we're getting to know each other. He's talking about people in his life. I mean, everyone's life, our lives are other people, unless we, live on a freaking deserted island. I didn't think it was that weird, but I did kind of think, hindsight 2020, I did kind of think to myself, God, does he like anybody? And that old saying, however it goes about, if people are talking shit about other people, they're talking shit about you too, trust me. And I did start kind of thinking that. I was like, talking all this shit about all the people in your life, are you talking me up with these people? Or, are you shit talking me? Or I don't know. It's kind of, red flag. Well, pink flag, because his red flags are freaking blazing, freaking, blood red flags. They're so intense. But I did think it was weird. Then he began to start talking shit about people that I do know. Because you have to understand, I grew up around here. I always say grow up like we were little kids. We were teenagers. But, our friend group and extended friend group, everybody knew everybody. And, a lot of people in his life are people that I also know too, including his sisters. And, that's the other thing. He doesn't talk to his sisters, or actually I should say it this way. They don't talk to him. I'll make a video about them. Now they're fucking crazy too. The whole family's fucking nuts. I need to run away. Whatever. So, he starts, intermittently talking shit about people that I do know. And of course, I haven't lived here in a bajillion years. So all of the stuff that he's saying about these people, events that went down with them. And then, of course, many of these guys tried to and did fuck Shelley. So, and of course, because he's the one that I'm in love with, I'm going to, of course, take his side. I've never had a conversation with any of these people. I'd be interested in knowing what really went down. But nevertheless, he starts shit-talking these guys and telling me, little events that happened over the years, and this guy did this to me and that guy did that to me. And then the other problem is they're all drug addicts or ex-drug addicts or drug dealers or ex-drug dealers or a combination of the two. So we're not talking about stand-up guys here that treat everybody with dignity. Of course, that whole drug world and many of his shit-talking stories about these guys, and some girls too, are drug related, how they screwed each other over in some sort of way. So it makes it all very complicated. And, I have beat myself up over the fact that I have let him affect me and do me wrong, and I still keep being in love with him and still trying to, as hard as I can, to keep him in my life and stuff. And then I get mad at myself because I'm like, what? I mean, I'm so freaking stupid. But the thing about him and about Narcissist is nothing is just black or white. Well, except for their thinking. And I'm going to make a video about black and white thinking too. But nothing is just on the table, honest, for real, raw, and so that you can formulate your own opinion about it. It's all convoluted and complicated and manipulative. And, when he's shit talking somebody that I know, and I probably get a kind of look on my face like, dude, you're talking about somebody I know, it's not cool. Then he kind of, he continues to spin the story, making him look, like the hero in a good light, and that, or not even just the hero, but the victim, and that there's some horrible person who's done him wrong. And, it's not so cut and dry. It's not to where I can just say, dude, stop talking shit about people. It is manipulative, and of course I believe everything he says. Now, I'm not close with any of these people, so it's not like it's going to affect me in any sort of way. He's not going to talk some shit about somebody and then I'm going to go and have a problem with that person. I mean, these people aren't really even in my life. They're just an extended, friend group from the past, as far as in my mind. But still, I'm getting the picture that if they were close to me, he would somehow try to get me to not like them or have a problem with them. Which leads me to this one friend, Tony. Now, Tony, I do have kind of I wouldn't say close, but we have a bond. And he's a musician. He was in 2 of the bands that Brian was in. I mean, Brian's been in many bands, but he's been in 3 successful ones, and Tony was in 2 of these successful ones. He's also a phenomenal musician. I mean, he and Brian can go toe to toe. That's how good both of them are. Singer-songwriter, actually, Brian doesn't play drums. Brian plays guitar, bass, sings, and writes songs. Tony does all that and plays drums. And Brian is so jealous of Tony. Now, Tony and I have never had conversations about Brian, so I don't know if he's jealous of Brian too. I mean, who knows? Musicians, whatever. Everybody's got lead singer-itis, look that up. But anyway, so as time has gone on, Brian, talks quite a bit of shit about Tony. He accuses Tony to me that he's stolen some of Brian's songs, and I mean, probably, once again, musicians. And so I was at a bar one night without Brian. He really doesn't ever like going out with me. He's so weird. I'm at a bar and Tony's there. And so I text Brian or call him, whatever, and say, hey, why don't you come up here? Tony's up here. We're partying. What? You need to get away from him. Stay away from him. I've told you what a dickhead he is, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, fucking chill, man. I'm just asking you to come up here. We can all have a beer, So he refuses, and then he wants me to leave the bar and come over. I'm like, no, me and Tony are catching up. I haven't seen this dude in years. We're having a good time. I invited you. Actually, Tony got on the phone with me, or got on my phone and said, hey, Brian, come up here, He wouldn't do it, and whatever. So I kind of caught hell for the next week about that. Not in a real bad sort of way. I mean, he didn't accuse me of fucking him or anything like that, but he just kind of kept annoyingly hammering it into my head what a horrible guy Tony is and how I need to stay away from him. Whatever. So I've noticed, now this has been, I guess, about 2 years ago. So I've noticed lately, the past few months, Brian has been hitting Tony up on a couple social media sites. and Tony won't respond. And so Brian, how I found out about this was Brian made a little posting about, pretty much talking shit about Tony, being like, dude, I don't know why you won't accept my, request. I don't know why you won't talk to me, blah, 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 blah. What the fuck is wrong with you? Can't you just forgive the past? I mean, all this stuff. Now, listen, Tony's never talked shit about Brian to me. Now, who knows what he says about it to everybody else, but he's never done that to me. And he doesn't even know me and Brian are really having much of a thing. I mean, he kind of knows a little bit, but he doesn't think it's serious. I mean, and apparently it isn't. And so it's not like Tony's like, oh, they're definitely together. I gotta watch, what I say. No, he just doesn't ever talk about Brian because he's not a maniacal, evil fucking bastard. So, Brian has been trying to get Tony to, be one of his followers, in his fan club, whatever, and put the past behind them, whatever, even though Brian's the one hanging on to this horrible past that Tony screwed him over so bad, whatever. And so a few weeks ago, Brian, he gets on my social media page and he says, oh, so you and Tony are friends, huh? I'm like, yeah. And so he starts giving me shit about it. And I'm like, really? Seriously? So, other than Brian just being a fucking weirdo on his own in the world, the fact that I'm learning about narcissists is, first of all, they don't like anybody, including themselves. Everyone. They have a problem with everyone. Everyone has not acted in accordance with how they feel like they should act. So therefore, they hate everybody. And they hate people. I'm not going to say that there's not one person on this earth that I hate. I would say there's probably two people that probably hate. But I really don't go around hating people. I mean, I don't have that in my heart, You have to really, 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 really fuck me over. I mean, I don't even hate Brian. I should, but I don't. And I never will. I mean, I just won't. I'm not like that. But narcissists, man, they either, well, I would say they either love or hate you, but I don't even think they love. I think they either just don't have a problem with you at the moment, or they fucking hate your fucking guts. And it's like, it's so unneeded, it's so irrational, it's so immature, and it's so annoying, and also it's just, it's just gross bad feelings. But I can tell that he does not want me having anything to do with Tony. Like, he would, I mean, that's the thing about narcissists. They always want to put some sort of barrier between you and someone else. It's not just the triangulation where they try to stir up some bullshit. It's that they really don't want you being involved with anyone but them. It's the craziest thing. I mean, it's just fucking crazy. So yeah. So shit talking. Yeah. Does your narc shit talk everybody? I mean, well, to be honest, Brian shit talks himself. It's crazy. Crazy making. Okay. Get away from that narc. Remember, today's the day. Get away. Bye.